Hey everyone, what's going on? It's the Elite Master here and welcome back to another video here in the channel. Just before I start today's video, can I just remind you that we're almost at 100 subscribers. That is epic. If you haven't already, please subscribe and click that like button down below. I will be doing a giveaway at 100 subscribers, so stay in tune. With that said, let's get into the video. So today I'll be expressing my thoughts of the entire season 12 of Modern Doctor Who. Obviously this video contains a lot of spoilers, so that means a big spoiler alert if you haven't watched season 12. If you have or just don't care for spoilers, then here we go. I'll be looking at each episode individually like normally, and I'll look at the season as a whole afterwards, so here we go. So we are kicking everything off with Spyfall Part 1. This is a very James Bond-esque episode with excellent action scenes, music and locations. This episode is a really good episode, and until we reach the end it got amazing. The agent known as O was revealed to be the Master. Wow! Sacha Dhawan's Master is really good. This episode ended in a dramatic cliffhanger as the fam were plunging to their death on the plane and the 13 got trapped in another universe. I would give Spyfall Part 1 an 8 out of 10 for everything I said about this episode. Next we have Spyfall Part 2. It is obviously not as good as Spyfall Part 1, but still a very good episode. The episode kicks off exactly where Part 1 ended. We get to see more of Sacha Dhawan's Master, who is excellent. Also we get to see a lot more of the companions in this episode, which is always good to see them all. Even though the ending was kind of rushed, the last part is perfect. The 13th Doctor finds Gallifrey that the Master has destroyed. Wow! I would give Spyfall Part 2 a 7 out of 10 for everything I said about this episode. Okay then, Orphan 55. The whole concept of this episode was terrible. Sure, the first part was kind of enjoyable, but after the Catwoman known as Hyphen with a 3 became a main character, it became absolutely terrible. The only funny part of this episode was that old woman shouting Benny. Now that is quality TV. The ending is just dragged on with a speech about global warming, which I guess it is important, but it just doesn't fit into a sci-fi series about aliens. I would give Orphan 55 a 4 out of 10 for everything I said about this episode. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror is the 4th episode in the series and is pretty good. Doctor Who always does this really good history episodes, and this episode is no exception. It was entertaining to watch the 13th Doctor with her fam and Nikola Tesla. The villains were cool, but it was a shame they didn't turn out to be the Arachnos. Nothing big happens in this episode, like Orphan 55, but still has some great content. I would give Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror a 6 out of 10 for everything I said about this episode. Oh my goodness, where do I start? Well, Future of the Judoon is the 5th episode in this series. I love this episode. It's always nice to see a fan favourite villain and a fan favourite companion return after 10 years. A lot of things happened in this episode. A Judoon invasion of Earth, which was cool. Captain Jack's Heartless's long-awaited return to the show. And the reveal of another Doctor. What? Wow! This episode starts to tease the lone Sidemen as well for the series finale. I would go Future of the Judoon a 9 out of 10 for everything I said about this episode. If you have made it this far into the video, then thank you for not getting bored and clicking off it. But next we have got the 6th episode, Praxeus, which is yet again quite a boring episode. Like Orphan 55, the start was good, but as the episode proceeded, it got worse and worse. To be honest, the villains were not as great as they did not play a major part in the story, and I would have much preferred if they were the Sea Devils. There were too many people in Team TARDIS, like always, and they had no purpose at all. I would give Praxeus a 5 out of 10 for everything I have said about this episode. Can You Hear Me is the 7th episode in this series. When the next time trailer was released for this episode, I got so excited, but when the episode ended, I was flooded with disappointment. I think the god called Zelin had a lot of potential. He seemed a scary character at first, but as the episode proceeded, all he seemed to do was put his fingers into people's ears that made them dream their worst nightmares. What? The ending was also really rushed, as they were meant to be gods and they were defeated in like 2 minutes. I'd give Can You Hear Me a 5 out of 10 for everything I said about this video, like Praxius. Okay, last 3 episodes, here we go. The Haunted of Villa Diodati is a very good episode indeed. To be honest, I thought the episode was going to be a bit rubbish, as the last 2 were just disappointing. I loved the setting of this episode and the idea of the lone Cyberman, something I was not expecting, was amazing. We've never seen just one Cyberman in an episode playing the main villain, and it brought back some of the more human sides of the Cyberman. It's not as good as Fugitive of the Jadoon, so I'd give this episode an 8 out of 10 for everything I said about this episode. Coming into the season finale, we have Ascension of the Cybermen, a setup for the last episode, the Timeless Children. Nothing huge happens in this episode, but what we do have, it's great. I love the new Cybermen designs because they look like a mashup of the old designs and the new designs. I also like how Graham and Yaz took responsibility in this episode, even though Ryan did virtually nothing. In the end, this episode just sets up the finale with the big questions on everyone's mind: who is the Timeless Child? I'd give Ascension of the Cybermen a 7 out of 10 for everything I have said about this episode. And then Chris Chibnall gave us the biggest Doctor Who plot twist. Okay, let's not go too depth with this episode. Let's just say that the Timeless Children is an interesting episode. Here are my overall thoughts on the episode. I think the idea behind the Timeless Child is good. Like many other YouTubers, I didn't like how it was a doctor though. Personally, I would much preferred if it was, I think it would have worked better if the Timeless Child had been the Master, and I'm sure many of you will probably agree. The cliffhanger was amazing, even though it happened very, very quickly, but it sets up for Revolution of Daleks, this festive holiday. So yeah, I would give the Timeless Child a 7 out of 10 for everything I said about this episode. So yeah, that's my entire thoughts on the entire season of season 12 of Modern Doctor Who. Overall, I think it was a goodish season with many good episodes and some bad episodes. The better episodes seem to be on the story arc with the lone Cyberman, and the others are just filler. My main problem though are the rushed endings. On most episodes, they are just rushed. The endings are just rushed. But they are my thoughts. Comment down below your overall opinion. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you for another Doctor Who video. See ya!